What is going on, everybody? It is your Wednesday night sports delight, the platform sports talk show. I am your boy Smooth, along with
Funny,
because when it's about sports
it becomes our business.
and business, finally tonight just picked up. How you doing, Bunny?
Awesome for a Wednesday. How are you?
Yeah, I'm doing well. I do apologize for our delay on the show. Had to take care of some updating my drivers. Had to found out that one of my drives were like pretty high, so it was affecting performance. And you know how programs are slow to respond if certain things are too high with computers. So unfortunately, it took away a little bit of time of the show, but we're gonna definitely make it up by continuing to give y'all a great show tonight. With that being said, how are things going now that you back in the game at work, Bunny?
I know, right? I'm in someone's employee again. Yes, it's cool. Getting adjusted, meet new people, going through the swing of things, but it's cool so far.
That's what's up.
I want to give a shout out to our sound engineer, our graphic editor, our producer, our light man, and anything else that smoothed it. Even though there's a delay, you do all that, all those hats. So I'll give a shout out to you for letting it all come together. Appreciate it.
Hey, thank you for the love. I definitely appreciate you. Shouts out to Stan. He deservingly so. If y'all saw the clip right before the show started, but I'm not sure if you got both two devices so you can see us on YouTube or on Facebook as well of outside of Skype. But earlier I had unfortunate y'all everyone already knows what's going on today, or what happened today, or what we wish would have happened but did not happen in regards to Breonna Taylor.
Mm-hmm.
Stan understandably so was like, hey, right now they're not in the right headspace, and I totally understand, and I know that he's not alone in what's going on right now in this
Mm-hmm.
world. Bunny, if you didn't mind, did you have anything that you wanted to say in regards to everything that happened today?
It's not surprising. You know, upon the news, what, from Monday or even last week, that it was mentioned that policemen couldn't have overtime. Businesses were boarding up. All these precautions that were being taken, so I already knew what was going to be. I mean, we went through this when Mike Brown killing happened months later when the then prosecuting attorney didn't charge him. And same thing with another black person that got killed.
Right.
It's unfortunate. And then they're wondering, well, why black folks still complaining? Why are they still protesting? Why? What do you think? If this was a white woman's daughter that got killed the way Breonna Taylor got killed, you can't tell me she's just gonna be at home like, oh, it's unfortunate, and go along with her life. No, she's gonna want some answer, some justice, and not just because a settlement was done. That doesn't account for them not being held accountable. But all that protesting and the NBA players came together, and we put this arrest the killers of Breonna Taylor. You know how many interviews those NBA players gave, and they would start off that way or finish their interview like that,
Mm-hmm.
and to see this not even come to fruition.
Yep. Yep. So it's just so much frustration going on with everything, and just want to say from the bottom of my heart, and I'm pretty sure for you and for Stan, to the family of Breonna Taylor, we apologize for this terrible, corrupt system that we're all going through. We know that last week, I believe they had an agreement, payout agreement with the whole nine, but still, justice was not served. With that being said, you know that over the last few weeks, months, you had celebrities, you've had athletes, you've had organizations, you've had so many different big time things and influences raising the awareness of Breonna Taylor, and then this happens. What are your thoughts? Like, this is just, it was so unprecedented how much they were doing to bring awareness, and still did not get the justice that we felt deserved. Do you think that that sets a bad precedent that now all that didn't even help.
I won't say it set a bad precedent. The works of all those players, celebrities, and social justice advocates is not in vain. This didn't happen. I'm sorry, the verdict, or I'm sorry, no verdict or no charges is not what we wanted to hear. But all that crying and protesting that we've done was not in vain, because unfortunately we have to keep doing this. And sometimes you have to take a break. We meaning people who are protesting for Black lives, and eventually we'll be out there again. And for all those spectators and people that just come from their home and say they're tired of hearing about Black Lives Matter, tired of people talking about social justice and change, this is why we won't stop. Until you all stop treating us or not holding people accountable, until we see justice, we're not going to stop. So, no, it didn't go out the way we wanted to, but it wasn't in vain. Eventually, we'll get our time to really make a noise for real. They thought that all this summer was something. We're not done.
Yeah. So once again, for those watching, thank you very much. This is your Wednesday night sports delight, doing everything via Zoom. If you are experiencing a slight lag, we apologize. Hopefully, throughout the show, everything will even out and be even smoother. No pun intended for you. Shouts out to once again Stan, our third co-host. He's just wanted to go ahead and chill tonight. But over here, make sure y'all go ahead and follow us on Facebook if you're not already. Same thing on Twitter. Go on YouTube, hit that subscribe, click on that
button. I mean, damn. Why do I keep saying button sometimes? Damn.
because anytime we go live,
you will be notified.
There we go. Go ahead and share this stream with the people. This is a big show tonight and tomorrow, but we'll explain that later on. But let's go ahead and get right into some more unfortunate news that just occurred this morning. Want to go ahead and give our condolences to the family of Mr. Gale Sayers, Chicago Bears legend, running back.
Yeah.
Incredible guy, incredible athlete. He only needs just an inch of daylight, just an inch, and he was good. He was gone. Shouts out to Jonathan. He says I was notified. Good seeing you. Good seeing you on here, Jay. Just saw you over out in Florida. Great times. But yeah, once again, in memory of Gale Sayers, man, one of the best running backs out there. I believe there was a movie that came out years back. I think Derek Luke played him in that movie. Did you see that movie? It was real good.
I remember hearing about it. I didn't see it.
Yeah, it was definitely real good. So our condolences to him and to the family. In other news, last week I believe we brought this up during the show. Deion Sanders is the new head coach, Jackson State University. This is so big because we had these conversations over the last few weeks, probably months, about trying to raise the prestige of HBCUs, and looks like this may be the key.
It's a great start, and hopefully Neon Dion or Primetime Dion just bring more awareness and outsiders to recognize Jackson State and HBCU. The talent is there. A lot of times some of the scouts don't come out, but hopefully it puts HBCU back on the map to scouts, and hopefully we have some young men that be able to further their career in the NFL because of exposure with Deion Sanders being head coach.
Right. It's just amazing also that at that school, he's the 21st head coach of all numbers. He's the 21st head coach in Jackson State University history. So it just shows you how God knows what he's doing. It's all about timing, you know what I'm saying? God knows what he's doing.
Yeah, and I'm actually surprised that the whole show he had to introduce himself as a head coach, wasn't bigger than what it was.
Right.
Maybe because of COVID,
Right.
but
Right.
you know, HBCUs are known for the band, so him having a little band and a motorcade, I'm not mad at him, but I'm happy for him. I hope they can help the program, and again, other HBCUs will be recognized as well. You know, just like everybody else I've been saying this year, Black folks have been here, but all of a sudden we're becoming relevant to white people and white companies. So hopefully this is another thing that white culture embraces. Like, hey, they do have talent, so we overlooked you all these years.
Right. But once again, definitely shouts out. Now, yesterday there was news that he already had his assistants, Terrell Owens and Warren Sapp, but he then stated behind that was false, and they may not have the
Right. I knew it was fake news because that's way too many people, too much money.
Right. Jonathan says, Coach Prime. Then he says, come to us to recruit us. There, exactly. Then shouts out to Ms. Williams. She says Facebook chat isn't showing up in the restream. Oh, just so you, just in case for those watching, you have to make sure that you chat under the platform Sports Talk Show. I may have started a watch party, and you probably trying to chat under that. Make sure that you're chatting under the platform Sports Talk Show's page, so then we can see your comments, your questions, especially when we have our special guest on, in which we will be introducing him very, very soon. But once again, thank you all for tuning in. You have multiple options to check us out: Facebook, Twitter, YouTube.
Mm-hmm.
So at least we're not giving y'all this only one way, giving y'all multiple ways to enjoy our one.
Got options. You got options. You got options.
There we go. So let's get right into it in regards to the NFL. Had a nice little game for week 2, should I say, in which.
Well, let's specify. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Oh,
Maybe talk about it.
I was just gonna state last Thursday. Oh, excuse me. That's for upcoming. Let me go ahead and change that real quick to let me see here. Where you at?
When you said slew, I was excited because of the black quarterback matchups we had.
Right. All right. So let's start off first with the previous games. Last Thursday, Cincinnati at Cleveland. Cleveland won, so that was huge for them because if they would start off 0-2, I think it would have
But
been.
that's normal for them.
But the thing is that it would have been all bad and probably wouldn't have been seeing Baker Mayfield no more as starting quarterback. Like it's gotten to that point that they may have to look at other options if he's not delivering for the Browns. But they did beat.
But then when we were talking about OBJ, and you thinking maybe he was not all that, but he didn't do anything like overly impressive. But you know, he did a few games.
Yeah. Shouts out to Suzanne. She says, "What's good, Fred and Bunny? What's good, Suzanne?" Shouts out to Natasha Jenkins. She says, "I'm ready for the SWAC to get its recognition." There we go.
Oh yeah, because you know Tasha's an Alabama A&M graduate. So.
Yeah. So that is the start right there. Like I said, Dion trying to make some things happen. I'm about to get our screens. There we go. Had to go ahead and make some adjustment to our screen here. Now we're good to go. Everybody can see a little bit better. So yeah, that's what Dion's doing. And let's go back to football.
And he's just the beginning. And hopefully this will get other high-profile or at least semi-profile recognitions for other coaches to come back who have, you know, worked in the NFL or been productive, you know.
Right. This past Sunday, New York Giants at Chicago. Of course, the biggest takeaway is the victory. You know, it's the win. But something more important. One of the best running backs in the game is out for the whole year. ACL, that's Saquon Barkley. So we hope for the best for him for a speedy recovery. Atlanta at Dallas. This game here, Atlanta had a huge lead, just like they had in the Super Bowl. Sorry.
I was about to say, it's deja vu for them again.
Sorry, Falcons fans. You know, that Super Bowl against the Patriots had a big lead against Dallas, and everybody's like, "Oh, what's going on with Dallas?" And then Dallas came back and won.
Dak showed why the Dallas Cowboys need to pay him now. Okay? He said, "What else I need me to do? I got this team back, and 5 minutes left in the game, and I've got us a W or Of course, it was a team effort, but you know what I'm saying.
Hey,
Still,
he like, can I get paid? Can I get paid?
on me my money.
What's that song by Rihanna? I mean, by Rihanna.
Now, Riri, I'm just saying.
It's the truth.
That's probably gonna be his theme music every time he walk in the locker room. Or
Right.
every time he go on the field, play this song. Shoot.
And coming out quarterback from what was that, Texas A&M or whatever. All right, so yeah, up next, Detroit at Green Bay. Green Bay just destroyed Detroit. No surprise there.
Exactly.
Jacksonville at Tennessee. Tennessee won by 3 points. A great game between Gardner Minshew, quarterback from the Jaguars, and Ryan Tannehill for the Titans. Minnesota at Indianapolis. The Colts won 28-11. Phil Rivers wins his first game as a Colt. Buffalo at Miami. Buffalo won. San Fran destroyed the Jets. No surprise there. But the biggest takeaway from that, you had a slew of crucial injuries. Nick Bosa. He's out for the rest of the year. You had Garoppolo. He's out for a few weeks. They had like maybe 5 players that could be
that just out. Went down. It was like a domino. Boom, 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 boom.
So that's
not funny. So that they're injured, but you know.
No, it sucks. You know, and they're saying that there could be an issue with that turf that they just installed at the stadium where the Giants and the Jets play.
All that money for turf, and it's hurting the players like that.
Now the NFL said that before the season started and before each game, they checked the turf, and they didn't see any issue. But why is it now? They just announced today that the NFL is doing a investigation.
I think investigation on those Tom Brady balls that were deflated. Okay.
Right.
I swear the NFL, they are like one of the most hypocritical organizations out there. It's crazy.
It's terrible. It is really terrible.
It doesn't even have to be this way. That's the thing. Y'all keep making these problems for yourselves.
Right. Rams at the Eagles. Rams won that game. Looking good. Sorry, St. Louis. Denver at Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh won. Carolina at Tampa Bay. Tampa Bay won. That was Tom Brady's
got his first W.
It is. Washington Redskins. Excuse me. The Washington football team.
Washington football team.
Right.
There you go.
At Arizona. Arizona washed their behinds 30-15. The Chiefs at the Chargers.
The black quarterback though.
Right. Chiefs at the Chargers. Great game. Chiefs pretty much was down throughout the whole game, and Mahomes did Mahomes things and came back and won that game in overtime. Baltimore at Houston, a game that you and I both were saying should be a good game. Looks like Houston is in trouble. No pun intended. Houston is in trouble. And then Sunday Night Football, another great game. Cam Newton, Russell Wilson. Wow. New England.
And you know, I told you I picked Russell Wilson to have the Seahawks all the way to the NFC Championship.
Yeah. And great game. Cam Newton is showing his old self. Looks like he has a good O-line. I think last week you asked about the O-line. You saw what they did.
I did.
You saw what they did.
They protected him.
Yeah. So as long as he stays healthy, they're going to be all right. But Seattle did win. They came through with the goal line stand at the end. Great moment. Great game. But the Patriots should be all right. And then Monday Night Football, you had New Orleans at Las Vegas Raiders. And Las Vegas won by 10 points.
Drew Brees is in trouble.
Hey, Father Time is undefeated.
Yeah, I mean, he may be on Tom Brady's side for right now, but he ain't on Drew's side.
Right. All right. So
on Ricker's side.
So right now, starting tomorrow, should I say, Miami at Jacksonville. And then Sunday, slew of games. Chicago at Arizona. Rams at Buffalo. That should be a good game to watch.
You think?
Yeah,
why?
Because both teams are very good. Buffalo went to the playoffs last year, and Josh Allen, he's gonna get that team right. Buffalo has some good pieces.
Yeah.
So, and I think I said this. I said that they're gonna win the NFC. I mean the AFC. Excuse me, East. So watch out, especially with Tom Brady gone. I got Buffalo winning the AFC East.
Okay.
So we're gonna see. But I like Buffalo, but the Rams, they doing good too. So we'll see. Washington football team at Cleveland. Yeah. Tennessee at Minnesota. Tennessee should get that one. Las Vegas at New England. Now the Raiders are undefeated. John Gruden, 3 years now with the team. They getting there. We'll see. San Fran at the Giants. Cincinnati at Philadelphia. Houston at Pittsburgh. That should be an interesting game. Jets at the Colts. Carolina at the Chargers. Tampa Bay at Denver. Detroit at Arizona. Dallas at Seattle. That should be a great game. Dak versus Russell Wilson.
Russell should show up and show out. Come on, Russ. Keep it going.
And what are your thoughts on DK Metcalf from the Seahawks? That dude's a beast.
I think it. I don't want to jump the gun because it's only 2 games. A lot happens between September and November, let alone December.
Right.
But so far so good.
Right.
There was somebody else that's in the Seahawks that was I wasn't paying attention. He did really good on Sunday. Sorry.
It was an offense and defense.
Oh man, I'm gonna have to start taking clip notes while I'm watching the game or something. I'm sorry, y'all.
Hey, how you gotta do it? A few comments here. Jonathan says, "Screw them Rams." I don't blame you, bro.
Thank you, Jonathan. I appreciate you for saying that because that's all I'm thinking and feeling for the rest of my life.
And Miss Williams says, "I can't hate on the Rams. It's not the players' fault that they're owned by a jerk."
It doesn't make me feel good when you put it that way, Miss Williams. I understand. I'd rather just not like them for the passion. It just makes me feel better. Sorry.
And then she says, the Las Vegas Raiders just sounds wrong.
I know it does.
Yeah.
Like LA Raiders sometimes is in, but Las Vegas Raiders, like, what?
Right.
That stadium's bad, though.
Oh, yeah, it's definitely dope. Let's see. Sunday Night Football, Green Bay at New Orleans. And then Monday Night Football, oh, my goodness. KC at Baltimore. Woo!
Homes against Jackson.
Let's go.
Are you ready to rumble?
Ding, 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 ding. All right. So, without any further ado, the reason why we have a lot of new people watching this show, because we have a special guest. This man went to the best high school of all time.
Now, wait a minute now. Come on.
Especially when we're talking about basketball here, high school basketball.
I never hate on it. I always get
all time. I'll even stop. But this man here, when I reached out to him, he basically told me that he had a story to tell. He feels like he may have been misunderstood because of the way that he played. And the way that the game is being played now, and I said this on our post a while back, that maybe he would have gotten more appreciation and love more so than he did back in the day. But we're going to let him go ahead. We're going to go ahead and let him say it for himself without any further ado. Everybody show some love to our special guest, class of 95, V-side representing Mr. Markese Watkins. Come on in, Markese.
Hey.
Hey.
There you go. We can hear you. There you go. You coming up.
I'm coming.
Can't see you, but we can hear you. There you go.
Uh-oh. Look at that jersey in the background.
B-side.
That's what it do, man. How things going your way?
It's going pretty good. I can't complain. I'm blessed, I have a wonderful 15-year-old daughter that I'm down here in Columbia raising. She's playing basketball now, so I'm trying to help her along the way and figure things out.
That's what's up. So you say right now.
That's where.
So you say right now you're staying.
Right now, that's where I'm at. That's what I'm doing.
Okay, nice, nice, nice. So, how is life out there in Columbia, Missouri?
It's okay. Things have changed over the few years as far as like city life is kind of seem like it's brought its way down here a little, but I mean, a lot of things going on everywhere. So
Yeah. So, what led you to
How long
move?
have you been in Columbia?
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
I guess I've been in Colombia probably like 5, 6 years maybe.
Mm,
Okay.
Before that, I lived in Jeff City for about 12 years since like 2001. So I've been in mid Missouri for about, uh, I guess 15, 16 years, something like that.
mm.
Okay.
So, was Lincoln University the reason why you was in Jeff City all them years?
No, not actually. I
We
actually,
can
I
say that's
had,
part of the reason. Give us some love.
well, I had a lot of consideration going to Lincoln after I left Vanderbilt. So that kind of didn't work out that way. So I kind of met my daughter's mother and married her, and then we kind of just lived the family life for a while.
There we
So
go. And I have seen your photos on your page. You and your daughter going to her basketball games, holding her down, supporting her. So, shouts out to you for doing that.
yeah,
Girl dad, girl dad.
yeah, I guess I am.
So, question that we always ask our guests at the almost at the beginning, but something that we just have to know, man. When do you recall when in your life did you develop your love for sports?
Hmm. I'll say probably like maybe 11 to 10, 11, 12 around that time. Because, we come up in the era where we went outside and played. So we did everything from playing court to dodgeball, kickball, baseball,
Mm-hmm.
you know, shooting on the crates in basketball. And we had a park right, house or right across the street from my house, down on the north side of St. Louis. So as kids, we had a lot of fun and we played a lot of sports.
Hmm.
Played outside in general. Sheesh. That's a lost
Right.
art now.
What was what?
Basketball was just a thing that stuck to me more, I'll say.
Oh, okay. Was there any other sports that you played outside of basketball as a youngster?
Um, I tried to play football because I could run a little bit back then, but when I got hit that first time, I said, no, this is not for me. So,
Oh, one hit. You was one and done. One hit.
yeah,
I'm out of
I
here.
mean, I was good. I was long. I caught the ball up high, but I got hit down low and in the middle, and I didn't like that feeling. So,
Mm-mm.
Ooh.
yeah.
Yeah, don't put me
And
back in, coach. I'm good.
right. So we played a lot of, on the field, just playing in the park, and I knew I didn't want to play like in no type of team or nothing like that. So
Hey, I believe
that's what.
last week Johnny Parker was saying that he did play football when he was younger, but when he got to high school, he was like, "No." I think his coach was like, you ain't
No, this
playing.
coach said nah.
Come back over here.
Well,
You
we
ain't
we
playing."
pretty, we pretty much had the same thing with Vashon. Like Coach Irons didn't want us playing other sports either. So
Oh,
we knew pretty much head on that we couldn't play other sports. I think other players did eventually, but some players like myself probably just stuck to basketball, and that's what I did.
mm, got you. So you brought up Coach Iron. So what led you to go to Vashon High School?
I mean, pretty much. I mean, it's really, I grew up in that neighborhood. I mean, I grew up down by 20th and North Market, and me and my friends, we walked to school every day, and that was the closest school nearby, and that's where I went.
Mm. How
So,
how would you say the neighborhood was back then to most recently the last time you've been in that area?
I mean, it looks beautiful compared to when I lived there, as far as like, stuff being rebuilt and redone, and It's not as, I feel like it's not as overpopulated as it was when I lived there. We had a lot of friends, a lot of kids and families and stuff that grew up down there. And now it's kind of, to me, it's just kind of like a little quieter and not as, uh, not as much people, you see out playing and doing stuff all the time, like when I grew up there. So, yeah, it's different.
And you were saying that you was walking down the street, going to school every day. When you were a freshman, how tall were you?
I would say I was like probably 6'4".
Whew.
Time I
You
was a
had like
freshman.
a late growth spurt?
Yeah, I did. I was a little guy all the way up until I was like in the 6th grade, maybe.
Mm-hmm.
And from 6th grade to 7th grade, I just shot up
Mm.
inches.
Mm.
And I guess from that point, those 3 years, from 6th to 8th grade, a lot of people just tease me all the time, like, you tall, you need to play basketball. And I just kind of played. That's how I kind of got into it. And people in my neighborhood played, or guys that was older than me that went to Vashon, and I just started going to the park with them and playing with them, and they showed me the game and roughed me up a little bit, and that's how I ended up, really, deciding that yes, I want to play basketball and go to Vashon and see what it's gonna, see what happens. Man.
So
I really didn't expect my career to turn out the way it did. It was just something that I did, and I got better actually. So
so
So you never had any formal training? I mean, you had your coach in high school, but you didn't have any like outside training that worked with you in the off season or anything?
oh no, nothing like that. I did a little AAU ball like 7th and 8th grade, but like the teams I was on was like teams where you get the players that's not really the players that everybody wants. So I was always one of the better players, just with my natural ability, and I just stayed with those teams until I got to high school, and I was introduced to Vashon basketball.
so who would you say were some of your influences as you was learning how to play the game of
Um,
basketball?
well, right off my head, and I know went to Vashon that you guys might know. Markese, he was he was somebody that I looked up to back then, and like I said, one of those guys that may have buffed me up a little bit and showed me the game and was formative and kind of just open the ropes, and I just grabbed towards that.
And I'm sorry, we had a little bit of a connection issue. Can you say his name one more time?
Devion Dancy.
Okay, there we go. Just want to make sure that we showing him love as well. All right,
Yeah,
so
this is a real good guy. I look up to him. One of the guys I could bring up that I can remember right off my as a kid back then that I knew that went to that Sean and he was a pretty decent player
Okay.
because we grew up in the same neighborhood.
all right, that's what's up. That's what's up. So I'm pretty sure you're coming in. You're 6'4". I know someone said,
Mm-hmm.
Floyd, look at this cat here. Look at this guy here. We got to get him.
That's all it takes. One time for Coach Iron to see somebody with potential, it's a wrap.
We're kind of sort of, but you got to understand that Vashon, really like you don't have to beg for basketball players. So it was like I really had to earn my keep there because there was a lot of competition and talent there.
Right.
I had learned, and we had tryouts and stuff like that, and I guess I would say I got lucky because I was tall. Because when I first got there, I was really raw and standing in the game and stuff like that.
And then, playing during that era I'm sure that you arrived like what around 91. Is that
Yeah,
correct?
91. I
So
was a freshman.
yeah, so just how was basketball to you during that era?
It was like a whole new world to me because, like, it was some really good basketball players. Vashon was a prestigious school back then as far as basketball.
Mm-hmm.
So, I was really like nervous and like, I was a shy kid and, was kept to myself a lot. So it was just like, I really had to learn and, learn the culture of how, the way it was at Vashon.
Mm-hmm.
So, uh, my freshman and sophomore years was really a learning year for me. And it kind of, showed me the ropes and made me the player that I ended up becoming.
Mm. And then how about comparing yourself or that team to other players during their era?
You say what now?
And how about you comparing yourself or comparing other teams that you played against during the era? Like who were some of the biggest high school players that played during your time?
See, I would say first, my freshman and sophomore year, I was so, young and I was learning, so I really didn't know much until like maybe my sophomore, junior year and stuff like that, as far as like other teams. And, I could say like maybe schools and teams like Cardinal Ritter or maybe Roosevelt, because, we played a lot of PHL schools back then. So I would say those type of schools, maybe Beaumont. I've learned in Sumner. Sumner, I have friends and guys that I really, grew up and got to know around from those type of schools like that. So I would say, what's Chuck last name from Sumner? Chuck, him and Leo from Sumner. I'll say Corey Tate from Sumner, Brian Turner. I think he was a little younger at Beaumont, but I played against him. Maybe Sean Carr and those guys from Roosevelt,
Yeah.
and pretty just those were the teams to and play against back then. And by the time I was like into my sophomore junior year, that's when I knew who was who and what was what
Hmm.
at that time.
And
So I would say those type of teams and players.
and how was the game of basketball being played back then compared to how it's being played now?
I would first and foremost say very physical.
Mm.
You know, when I was in school, we had guys like Anthony Bonner come back and help us out, and we did a lot of practicing and roughing me up, stuff like that back then. So I pretty much learned from good guys like that. Um, it was a lot of great players back in that time. I could say what's, it's just so many people that I can't think of right now. um,
Gotcha.
I knew of Erwin Claggett and people like that. Coming up because they used to have Bonner leagues and stuff like that every summer
Yep.
throughout my years of being in high school and stuff. So, a lot of guys from there, and like I said, Cardinal Ritter, when I played against Lauren, Jahadi, and Carol all at the same time.
Mm. And we
So,
had that conversation with them a while back,
Yeah.
a few months back, about the great times
mhm,
of Vashon versus Cardinal Ritter at Normandy. So, just from
mhm.
your perspective, let everybody know how great them battles were, and how it was always a must see event. I would tell people all the time on our show, people were lined up from parking lot to the front of the building, trying to get in. It didn't matter if it was cold outside or what. People were there
Right.
to watch that game.
And I was amazed as a player Cause I feel like all these people here to see me, or they here to see Jahidi beat us, or what? Or Lauren Woods or Carwell or what? But I was just happy to be a part of it, I mean, and I actually feel like I held my own against those guys because they were some very great players, especially at that time. So it was really an amazing time for me at that time.
Do you think, I don't know if I'm jumping the gun or not, but as far as a big man from, Smooth just asked you about then and now, what was a big man back when you were playing to now? Big difference, little difference, or what's your thoughts on that?
I would say, as a big man myself, I felt like I was a little bit ahead of my time. I felt misunderstood as far as the way I wanted to play, because a lot of big men at that time play like a certain type of way. And I wanted to play a different way, but the way the game was played back then, it was kind of forbidden. So I had to kind of like really play within the system too. And, by the time my junior, senior year came, I was able to mix it up maybe a little bit, but not a whole lot. So I never really felt like I reached my peak as far as the type of player I really wanted to be in that era.
Right. So pretty much that's where you was telling me about via Messenger, because as you said before, and I noticed your style of play, and I would hear in the crowd, take it down low to the post, like your boy James Williams, Rudy. He was a different kind of player than you were. But
yeah, me and him was two different type of players.
Right. And I followed Vashon basketball since I was a little kid. My mom went there. You may know my cousin Ronald Simpson. He used to be an assistant coach with Florida Irons.
Yeah.
So
yes, I know.
And his son Rick Simpson graduated, I think, around '86. So like I said, I know Vashon basketball since I was a little kid. And so going to y'all games, I would see exactly what you mean in regards to your style of play. Because like you said, today's game, look at what AD
That's all they do. Right.
Look at Jokic, look at Embiid, etc.
All of them.
They all are
doing it. They have a shot with it. They shooting.
Right. They all doing exactly what you were doing back then, but it just wasn't appreciated back then because people wasn't used to seeing a big man always staying out there shooting, threes or shooting, shooting away from the basket as much as you did.
Right. And I would say, like, in high school, I only shot like maybe 2 or 3 threes a game. If I tried to do anything more than that, it was a problem. So before then, I would try to just extend my shot to like maybe mid-range, 15 feet maybe. Find my spots in the mid-range area, maybe the free throw line or the baseline or something like that, to get to show my shooting touch. But that was all I could really do. And it was okay. It was okay for me because the way we played as a system, that we had a system back then. It wasn't no going for 30 points a game or nothing like that.
There was a lot of ISOs and, a lot of games. Super a lot of ISO.
We had a lot of balance scoring. It wasn't no just go to Markese every time. Everything was within the offensive set. So that's what I was used to. So.
Yep, and then like you said, you had, Rudy down there already taking up space, and actually,
I also had Antonio Bobo my junior year.
Yep, I remember him. What about I can't recall, was Davidson on your team too?
Yes.
Yeah.
Danny Davidson.
Yeah, that was my guy. I was a big fan of his game. He was the quiet assassin.
Yeah, we grew up next door to each other. A long time. Okay. We was really good friends. We grew up next door to each other. Grew up together until I moved my sophomore year to the south side of St. Louis.
That's what's up. Once again, this is the Platform Sports Talk Show. Your boy Smooth, along with
Funny.
And we have special guests.
Markese.
There you go. See, he ready, Bunny.
I see. It was nothing to it. Nice segue.
Hey,
I'm like, okay.
he don't need no.
Don't need no practice, huh?
I'm loosening up a little bit.
There we go. Hey, that's what the show's all about, man. Just be yourself.
Please be.
You know, and just enjoy it, man. Cause this show's all about you. Want to give out
Giving
the
your flowers while you here.
Exactly.
I appreciate that. I really do.
Cause you definitely played during a time in which, like as you brought up earlier, you had the Jahadi Whites, the Lauren Woods, Chris Carrawells, etc. And just in my eyes, you definitely played a prominent role with what you did at the V. So much respect for you and your game. For those watching, once again, this show has been going on for 3 years strong consistently. It gets better and better. Great guest. Make sure y'all share this stream right now with your peoples. Follow us. Everything's on your screen. Facebook, Twitter, YouTube. And let's get it in, y'all. So, continuing on. I'm sorry. Go ahead, Bunny.
I'm sorry, since I don't have the V-side history memorized like you, Smooth. Markese, you graduated in 95. So between 91 and 95, did V-side get state championship or 2 in there, or you got just a district one?
Yes, I have a state title my junior year, actually.
Okay.
There it is.
Yes.
Okay, good.
Yeah, Antonio Bobo, a guy named Sil Bolden, Ronald Adams, Ernest Askew, and a few other more, James Williams, Lamont Bonner. Like, we had a really solid team.
You keep in contact with anybody still?
Oh, yes. I mean, it's pretty much Ernest Askew and James Williams are like my brothers. Ronald Adams, Sil Bolden, yes. I don't think Antonio Bobo's around, but he's like a big brother to me as well. So, yes, you know, whenever we could talk, you know, we call each other and stuff like that. There's always been a brotherhood with me.
That's good. And we have someone who says, my dad is a great player. T.L. Brown. Do you know that person?
I guess that's my daughter's mother. I guess she's on, and my daughter said that.
That's what's up.
Oh, I got you over there blushing. No.
That's
But, you know, that's my baby. My daughter is my baby.
Yeah. So keeping with that, in regards to the girl dad that Bunny brought up earlier, how much did it affect you when you heard about Kobe Bryant?
It affected me a lot because, you know, Kobe Bryant is, you know, he actually, you know, that's my generation. You know, him, Vince Carter, Kevin Garnett, Chauncey Billups, you know, all those guys played down the All-American game. I was nominated, I didn't make it, but when that happened, it was like something that was kind of close to me because I know that was my era. And it's like, dang, somebody that great. You know, I mean, you know, the work ethic and the type of play was somebody I definitely looked up. It showed me pretty much what a professional really was.
Yeah. And so sorry if y'all heard a little bit of lag, but pretty much he was just saying how much of a professional the Kobe Bryant was.
Yeah.
And
okay.
Yeah, it definitely, you know, hit me as well. Cause it's like for us, we've always seen, you know, the Mamba, the guy on the court, but like after he retired, and you saw how much he put in regards to, you know, making that movie that he got, or that film that he got an Oscar in, and then seeing how he wanted to really be there for, you know, for his daughters, you know, exactly how you had the Mamba Academy, and how Gigi, she was going to be a really big deal, and then, you know, of course, I have her, right, and you know, I have a daughter as well. So it's like it definitely hits home, you know, and you definitely just want to really appreciate what you have while they're still here.
Right. Right.
So
Right.
yeah, man.
Okay,
Now
girl
my baby
dads.
girl, ninth grade, so it's about that time to groom her and get her ready.
There it is.
That's what I'm talking about. All right, all right, all right.
So
So, do you have any film or well, I don't know, my bad, y'all. We
I
about the
know
'90s.
that's a tough question.
Yeah, because we talking about the '90s, so I'm like, oh, duh. Stuff is so easy access now compared to back then. But anything that you can show your daughter, anything that visual.
That's the problem. I want to find something because she always pick on me like, Dad, you don't even dunk or nothing, And I'm like, baby, I dunked all the time in high school.
yeah,
I'm pretty sure Jahai White and Lauren Woods, all of them can contest to that because you know how Vashon starts off the game with dunks.
yes, I agree. I can attest with that too. As
So
soon as a tip happened,
I
boom, it's a
wish
wrap.
I can go right.
That's the B-side way, huh?
games that you was talking about in the Normandy tournament, those games you talked about in the Normandy tournament against Cornwall and stuff, them were some of my best games and some of my best dunks and stuff like that too. So I wish I could get some of those tapes and stuff back and figure out how I can go back and look at some of that stuff because it was some great times.
So how would you describe your experience? Because we've had Brian Turner on, we've had Brandon Gilmore on. I don't believe Johnny Parker played at the V. He may have, I just can't recall. But just tell us your experience playing in the pit.
We played Johnny Parker and them, the pit. Wow.
Just like that.
I don't know. It was something about the pit that just make you just give you so much energy and power, like you feel like I'm at home.
For it to look like the way it did, that's
like
true that it gave y'all that power. Because, outside looking in, you'd be like, this is a high school, let alone the actual gym in the pit. Like, what? But then all the magic, all the stuff that y'all did on that court is like, wow, all that comes from this?
Yes, and it's a lot of wars and a lot of sweat and tears and all this stuff that, we acquired at the pit. You couldn't just come in the pit and think you're going to win.
Nah.
So, I mean, I'll never forget that place. I feel like Vashon is not the same without it, but I'm old school, so.
Yeah, but so you sound just like the older alone that would say that. Because they just like the new V. It's like, this our house, and we're spectacular. You can tell B-sides champions are made in the new V, but the young bucks wouldn't relate to how the pit was. But, stuff happens for a reason.
Different experience playing in the pit, man.
Look, I don't know if it was bright lights, but it was like bright lights to me there.
Point to
Uh-oh. Did my stuff freeze?
No, I think that's his.
Well, you have me.
Sorry, y'all. Say it again, Markese. Your signal's kind of going low.
I said, in the pit, it was some dead spots as far as the lights, but we knew what spots to be in and take the shots and all that, so it worked for us.
Okay.
That's the advantage of having home advantage.
Exactly. That's called home court advantage right there.
So we knew where to take off from, and we knew where to shoot from, all that.
So we have a comment once again from TL Brown. Says, tell them about playing in Kansas City at Central.
Oh, that was an experience. I played against Derek Hood. I don't know if you heard of him.
Yeah.
I don't think we was able to shoot free throws. That it was so bad as far as like we couldn't make a free throw. They throwing soda cans and all type of stuff at us.
Wow.
We barely made it out of KC Central.
It's in a high school. I'm thinking bad. Like professional athletes do it. They're not high schoolers.
You better not make a shot, and you ain't gonna make it home. That's how that type of environment it was. It was competitive. I think we probably didn't win that game in Kansas City, but we got him back at Cardinal Ritter when that came to Cardinal Ritter.
Man, yeah.
But I would
Only
say
imagine.
Derek Hood, Kevin Garnett was some of the best players I played against, other than Jahidi and Lauren and Chris, like that.
Okay,
Oh,
okay.
okay, so you was part of that game that Kevin Garnett and them played at the shootout, right?
Yes,
The
sir.
MLK shootout or the Christmas one?
I think it was the Coca-Cola shootout, maybe.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah,
They had Marbury and all type of players in it.
yep. Man, hey, those were some incredible battles when he had that KMX shootout, man. Incredible teams,
That's
players
Yeah,
came through. A lot of NBA players
yeah,
were there. Uh,
yes,
Matter of fact,
yes.
do you recall Ted Dupay?
Yes, I knew who Ted Dupay is,
Yeah, man. Hey, he was.
but he's like
Go ahead.
he was like one of the I get was he a white guy, right?
Yes, he was. He was a cold white boy.
Yeah, so right. That's I was like, because I ain't gonna say white boys wasn't cold because
He was different.
I played against a guy named Ryan Robertson
Oh yeah, I
my
remember him.
senior year.
St. Charles West.
Mm-hmm. I
Right,
remember him.
he was really nice.
Yeah.
So, but Ted Dupay, I would say he had a little bit more in his package. Ryan was a little taller, but yes, Ted Dupay was like amazing to me.
Mm.
I never seen a white boy to play like that.
I mean,
Yeah,
dude would like pull up from like Steph Curry range, like before there was Steph Curry.
I was about to say he was doing Steph Curry stuff
yeah,
before Steph Curry.
Exactly.
yeah. But see, that's why I say that's why no disrespect to the younger generation, but I feel like they think they said something new.
Nah.
This
Mm,
stuff has been done before.
mm-hmm.
Say it again, brother. Say it
But
again.
It's just because it ain't marketed or it's not enough highlights of certain
right,
players doing it. And
right.
so they think it don't
And
exist if it's not on
they don't go
camera.
off word of they don't go off word of mouth. They go off
Mm-hmm.
the internet.
Right.
And there's
They
a
go
lot
off
of
the
alternative facts
internet.
out there too. So
Right,
So
right.
so do you feel?
So
So with
yes,
that
I've
being
seen
said,
some players in my time.
so with that being said, do you feel if social media was around back in the day, your prospect store rating would have been even higher?
Of course,
Mm,
absolutely.
mm,
mm. That's deep right
I
there.
mean, it's
I
almost like
really
night and
do.
day
I really
from
do.
the '90s to now.
Right, it is. And you know what
Yeah.
I'm saying? Like I said, no disrespect to the new generation because it's some great players, but it's not too much hasn't been done. They might dribble a little faster or dribble a bit more or something, but I'm not excited. I just love the game.
Yeah.
So,
But that's why I asked you,
like I
like
said,
when
no
you,
disrespect.
as you was growing up, and I asked you about you never had any training when you finally got into basketball because now the one up and coming player is not getting training. So you know how you pick up a lot of stuff from just being on
Right,
a black court or just doing pickup ball. You can pick up moves and stuff,
right.
but
And that's
nobody's
what
just
we did.
training like that now. It's like,
That's what we
no,
did.
my
Right.
trainer works on this, and you see that on in TV time. That's how people are doing stuff in their game. It's like
Right.
that's
I
like,
would, I would say that's an advantage. That's an advantage that I feel like this generation has, and it's no knock to that. I appreciate that. I wish that we had it, but it's unfortunate. But I'm glad for this generation now that they're getting that. We're getting a lot of more people from where we're from that's getting a chance to get opportunities to be rich and be professionals.
Mm.
So that's good. That's a good thing.
Got a comment.
Yes.
Oh, sorry about that. We got a comment on my page, but he's going to actually post it very soon so everybody can see it. But you mentioned him earlier, Brian Turner. He said one of my favorite Wolverines.
Yes. Yeah, that's it. Man, ever since we played against each other, you know how you meet somebody, you can feel their spirit and know they're a good guy. And he always been a good guy since I met him at Beaumont, and we just always had that type of relationship with each other. So I really appreciate that coming from him because we always had that type of connection or relationship with each other. So yeah, I appreciate that. And he was an awesome player, a great player. I wish he could have played with me.
So we brought up the Camelback shootout, and we know that that was played at, I think at the time it was like the Savage or the Kill. It was one
Or
or
the
two.
kill.
Well, I think it was the kill. Yeah,
Yeah. So was that the biggest arena that you played in at that time, or was a different one that stood out to you during your time in high school?
we played at a pretty big arena in Oklahoma, and we won a pretty prestigious tournament called the Markesville 66 shootout or something. That was a pretty big arena, for probably the same size as the Kill. We played a lot of, we played a lot of places, going to a school like Vashon because we traveled a lot. So it's kind of like really hard for me to kind of remember so far back because I know we played in a lot of prestigious places to where it was a big crowd and, I'm used to playing against crowds that was totally against us. There's so many fans and people on top of you. So I would say that's one of the biggest places, yes. Other than playing in the state games and stuff like that, that stuff used to be pretty big too, as far as being at Mizzou, Hearn Center, and stuff like that.
Yeah, I asked Johnny Parker last Wednesday, how does he like the new Mizzou Arena compared to the Hearns? And we both were saying how we like the state of the art new Mizzou Arena, but that Hearn Center was different.
It was different, and I was lucky to play in it twice. Going to the state title game or to state tournament or whatever. So yes, it's one of the highlights of my career as far as playing for Vashon.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
being able to go to the state tournament my junior and senior year.
Do you remember who y'all beat to get the state championship in the following year? Who did y'all lose to?
I know we beat Sykeston my junior year. We beat St. Charles West my junior year to go to the title my junior year. And then we end up playing St. Charles West in the finals my senior year. So I guess Ryan got his little payback his senior year, our senior year.
Yeah, I recall that because I was there.
I heard it. Man, don't get it twisted. I had a nice game though.
Yeah.
I don't know if you've seen it, Fred, with Smooth. I don't know if you've seen the behind the back dunk my senior year. Yeah. That was the highlight.
I can't recall right now. I apologize.
But a long
time ago.
That's why I said we don't have the footage like you can get stuff now.
Right. I hate it. Yeah, no, we need the footage.
You know what?
And then another thing, speaking of footage, the media outlets on a regular at high school games, catching highlights and showing it on TV. But back then, the media outlets weren't physically like cameras. They don't have writers, but they didn't have the cameramen to sit up at these games. And y'all definitely were a draw back then. So imagine if they were doing what they do now for y'all back then. Sheesh.
Yes, I feel like, with the players that we had, I would say we'd have had a lot more exposure, and a few more other players would have got college scholarships and all that, just because of the exposure and the way Vashon basketball was played and the talent that we had.
Right. Because, like, you think about it now, how you just said, you got these guys on ESPN. Like, this past season, you had Bronny James on, 20 telecast.
Well, then you like a freshman or a sophomore?
Freshman.
High school.
Right.
Like, wow.
It's crazy. So.
And they start ranking them by the time I know 8th graders get ranked now.
Times is definitely
get ranked.
Yeah, time definitely changed.
And see, we didn't know about being ranked stuff back then. I didn't know.
I just know about high schools being ranked, but I didn't know individual players at one time were ranked. And as I kept reading and learning sports, at least for basketball that they ranked. But I know the high school V-side was always in the 90s even, it was always ranked in the top in the country.
And And one of those reasons,
Yeah.
Markese, is Floyd Irons. Tell us about your thoughts.
Yeah.
When he first met you, what was his thoughts of you? Did he say what his plans were? I know you, like you said earlier, about your
Oh,
game being different. Just tell us about that experience being with Floyd Irons. Oh, he laughed.
Dang, and took out the earbuds. Like, dang.
I ain't gonna lie. I struggled. I struggled. I mean, as far like I said, Vashon it's a prestigious basketball program. So it was like you had to tap into a certain type of mental toughness and physical toughness. Um, I feel like that's what I struggled with in the beginning. And he just stayed on me. He was always on me, and he may have said some things to me that I didn't particularly like, whatever. But I guess in the end, it made me a better player.
Mm-hmm.
I could, I definitely can say that much. You
Yeah.
know,
Only
I
the
really
strong.
appreciate that part because everything I heard from the game came from Floyd Irons.
Mm.
What's up?
And
So
and and what about
I give him props for that.
and what about in regards to your family? Was there someone in your family that was pushing you along the way that was a big influence to you? To when if coach said something to you at practice, you going home, you disappointed, you know, we always say in your fifis. Who was that person? Who was that person that was there
Right,
for you, or people that
right.
was there for you?
Well, first and foremost, my mother, because she pretty much was with me every step of the way. Uh, yes, I did have. I would say that might have happened my sophomore year, maybe. You know, goofing off, talking in practice while he telling us something. Next thing you know, a ball get hit. I get hit upside the head with the ball because my head turned, and I was very upset that day and talked to her about it, and she just basically told me, "If this something you want to do, you can't just quit." And then from that point on, I just chose that route to stay, and I became a better player ever since.
Mm-hmm. That's what's up, man. And you mentioned earlier
Yeah.
about winning that state championship when the clock ran down and you was realizing that you're about to win your first ever state championship. Tell us what you was going through, all the emotions that you felt during that time.
It took a while for it to sit in because I was still in shock. Like, dang, I can't believe I really won a state championship. I can look back and see like everybody jumping and happy and clapping, and I kind of still was kind of like, moving in slow motion, kind of in shock. So it was a very surreal moment for me. Like one of the best highlights of my life.
Mm-hmm.
To win a state championship, because you play against a lot of talent, and it's a lot of hard work to get to there. So it was a very, like I said, surreal. I was in slow motion, and it was just like, wow.
Mm-hmm.
I guess it didn't hit me till after we kind of really got back from Columbia.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and we got back from Columbia, and we got all the recognition and stuff like that. You know,
Oh, let me ask you this.
but yes,
So,
it was a very
um, as far as you talking about high school, you got the state championship junior year. So, was you still getting highly recruited, and even senior, you got to win state?
Mhm.
Were you still getting highly recruited, or just schools in the region, or was it national scouts coming out? And,
Well, I would guess, yeah, it was yes, it was national. I got a lot of junior year, because we had Antonio Bobo, like I said, and he got, I guess he ended up going to Oklahoma, and he had a lot of recruits and stuff coming in, and yes, I got a lot of national recognition, especially like I said, when we did that Oklahoma tournament, we won that Oklahoma tournament. It was a pretty good tournament where they had a lot of teams coming from different places, and my junior year, I got recruited a lot. So I would say my senior year was kind of more set to where I went on visits and stuff. I kind of had a list of schools that I liked, and I just went and visited schools that I was, considering. But my junior year, I got recruited a whole lot.
Okay.
Did it come to a point where you was overwhelmed by all the letters and all the coaches getting at you during that time?
Yeah, it was pretty overwhelming because I didn't really have experience or that, that type of figure, other than, Coach Irons or somebody like that to tell me what to look out for or what to expect or, this is happening or this is going on. So, yes, it was pretty overwhelming at that time, being a young 16-year-old kid.
Do have a comment. This guy you should know about because you played against him a few times. He was at Cardinal Ritter. John Pullman. He says, Markese, my Trotter teammate, you should have 4 championships along with him. One of the most versatile big men in FTL history.
Okay. They give you a man props. Okay.
I appreciate it. Yeah, that's my guy, John. We play together in the 40 and over together. We got a couple of championships. Like he said, it's supposed to be 4, but I only got 2 of them with him. So we was working before COVID hit.
That's what's up, man. Shouts out to you, John. Once again, to everybody watching right
Thanks
now.
for tuning in.
Yes. Go ahead and share this stream with all your peoples. We taking it back to the 90s, y'all, on this show. So go ahead and keep them shares going. Let's get more comments in. If you're on Facebook, make sure that you are leaving all comments under the Platform Sports Talk Show page. Not nobody else's page. It has to be the Platform Sports Talk Show, so we can see it. We can react to it. We can comment.
Interact.
Exactly. So everything under the Platform Sports Talk Show page. Like for instance, if you comment under Markese page, we can't see it. You got to comment under.
Probably got a lot of good stuff to say, but we can't see it.
Right. So comment under the page you see on your screen, and we got y'all. We will go ahead and read over everything. And matter of fact, John Pullman had a post today. He had a few box scores from his performances at Cardinal Ritter. He was a scorer. Yeah. He was a big time scorer.
Yeah, I mean he told me a lot of things. I guess he's a little bit before my time. I probably was a baby when he was still at Cardinal Ritter, but yes, I was coming in and he was on his way out, something like that. So, but like I said, we always had our conversations, and he's one of the guys I look up to and respect. So that's my guy.
So after the recruiting, what school did you decide to go to for college?
Vanderbilt University.
Oh, Nashville?
Yes.
Nashville, Tennessee. Okay.
And what led to that decision?
Well, I guess closest to home. Weather. They recruited me hard. I would say them, Rice, Colorado, maybe Illinois when Bill Self was there. Them 4 schools recruited me really hard. So it was between them 4. And maybe Eastern Illinois a little bit. But I wanted to be further than that, so I knew I wanted to get out of, Missouri.
Oh, okay.
So I guess Vanderbilt was kind of right. So I guess Vanderbilt was kind of closest with the weather, and coming from a school like Vashon, I wanted to I was thinking about changing my environment and being more rounded as far as just a different type of environment. But it was a very big culture shock that I didn't know about or didn't know what I was
Look, that's what they didn't show you on your visits down there, huh? That he got game visit.
Oh,
I got
those type of visits.
Right, exactly. I got their treatment. And they got me.
There you go.
Got him.
He got game.
They had some pretty good coaches like Buzz Peterson that played with Michael Jordan in North Carolina. Charles Davis that played with Michael Jordan on the Bulls. So that attracted me too because Charles Davis recruited me really hard. So I'm thinking like getting, knowledge and stuff like that from those type of coaches will help out a lot too. Plus the head coach played in the NBA as well. So that's where I went with all that. That's what helped me make that decision.
So how would you say your overall experience was at Vanderbilt?
When I look back, it was a great experience, but at the time I wasn't ready for the experience.
I was about to say, mentally you weren't there.
Yes, mentally I wasn't there because it was so much of a culture shock for me.
Different from being off of 20th and Market, right?
So I ain't gonna say that I experienced so much racism, but it was like, I was like either a number or one of the black guys, one of the few black guys on the team. So it was kind of like kind of like a target on my back, like we can ship you out if you ain't ready. So I kind of felt like I was dealing with that, like, wow, like what I get myself into? Is this what I was ready for? Should I went somewhere smaller? You go first or something like so. I had a lot of mixed emotions once I made that decision, or once I got there. It was bigger than what I thought it was. I didn't know what I was getting into, I'll say.
Did you have any thoughts of transferring?
Of course. Yes, I did.
But you did your whole college career at Vanderbilt?
I stayed there for like a year and a half. I got hurt in that next season or whatever and never got the chance to play. And then, like, I guess the coach, I say the head coach, he kind of was looking in a different direction and it wasn't good for me. So, I just decided to just do something different. Right.
Okay.
So it's like a lot of the timing, getting hurt at the wrong time and just stuff going wrong at the wrong time. And then just had to make a decision to do something different.
So do you still follow Vashon basketball now?
Yes, I try to make a couple games every year or I try to, at least go once a year or a couple games a year or something at least.
And what's your thoughts on seeing Tony Irons holding things down as the head coach and they still winning championships?
It's amazing to me. Right, it's amazing because when I was around, Tony was a little baby running around. And you could tell that he picked up a lot of knowledge and wisdom from his father.
Mm-hmm.
It's like really a great sight to see. You know what I'm saying? Like, wow, he's doing it like pretty much like dad. You see, he probably have a different style, but he's doing it like his dad did it. Right. I'm proud of him.
Yeah, he's definitely doing big things. Definitely doing big things for the
keeping that legacy continued.
So you brought up, well, actually, John Pullman brought it up, but you had a few photos of you winning championships, etc. Tell us about the 40 and up men's league, or just your thoughts on men's leagues in general.
I think, well, in general, I just think it's a good thing to keep us older guys going, trying to stay in shape and, not totally just give up on the thought of playing basketball or whatever. And it keeps the brotherhood going. And I really love, you know what I'm saying, being around those guys, stuff like that. So, yeah, it's been fun.
That's what's up, man.
COVID is not being helpful to us older guys.
So is this league like the younger or a smaller version of the Big Three, the Ice Cube's league you got started?
I know.
Like this is like a local level of the Big Three type basketball?
Yeah, it's like a local 5-on-5. You probably have 15, 16 teams. And
okay.
We all, duke it out to the championship. Do a playoffs. play like a 10-game season or whatever, and do a playoffs in the end and get a little championship. Try to hold on to the legacy, I guess.
That's all. Just try to get you a little championship. That's it.
Yeah, I'm still a winner. Don't get it twisted.
That's what's up. So, what are you up to now?
Since COVID, I had to step away from my job. I was working at a hospital, and then basically just staying close to my daughter, making sure my family's safe, and just trying to figure out the next chapter of my life at 43 years old, and trying to basically make it through 2020.
Mm-hmm.
So a lot of stuff going on today.
Yeah, well, definitely keep on pushing, brother. Keep on pushing.
Mm-hmm.
So, let's go ahead and discuss a little bit of.
Appreciate this interview.
Oh yeah, man, definitely our pleasure, man. Let's go ahead and discuss some basketball while we at it. NBA basketball.
No, NBA. Yes. Okay, so look, Markese, listen to this. I am not a psychic. I've never been a coach, and I've only played a little bit of high school basketball. Mm-hmm. However, I said that the Denver Nuggets was going to win at least one game against the Lakers. Now, everybody else around me, including my co-host, no, Lakers going to sweep this, and that. And lo and behold, last night, I said, wow, little old me was right. And everybody else was like, no, thinking I'm crazy. But again, what do I know? Because I've never been a coach and I've never been a major basketball player. But I see things and I see the passion Jamal Murray has that they're still going to lose the series. But I know he's going to get at least one game for the Lakers. And he could have probably gotten two if AD didn't have that lucky shot in game 2.
You said, what about the shot?
If AD would not have hit that lucky game winning shot, then the Nuggets may have had 2 wins against the Lakers.
That's very well possible. I like the Nuggets. They got a very deep team. You can't sleep on them. I think they on their way to being a nice franchise in the next few years if they keep that group together. Mm-hmm. I'm a LeBron guy. That's my favorite player. So I'm always rooting for LeBron. But I'm a fan of basketball, and I feel like, you can't count people out, especially great teams and teams that persevere like the Denver Nuggets. So I'm more of a basketball fan.
Yeah. And now I believe Stan did say a gentleman's sweep, which pretty much means 4-1. So he did give the Nuggets one victory. So we'll see if they have that gentleman.
Yeah, I gave them 1 or 2 victories too.
I was thinking maybe 2, but I wasn't too sure. I definitely said they'd get 1, but
I know Michael Porter. I coached his little brother, Jonte, that's playing for the Memphis Grizzlies, and I know them kids are great kids and they're good players. So I kind of root for Michael a little bit too.
Yeah, I'm a huge fan of his.
Yeah, his game is evolving, and if it wasn't for the shutdown that happened, I don't know if we would have even got to see this from Michael because that shutdown gave him more time to heal. I know he was playing a little bit before the shutdown happened, but now with that break, I think he got the extra time and all that to where he is now. And he can only get better, of course.
Yeah, I agree. He's going to be one of the best players or better players in the NBA.
I mean, he was in the top 10 in the draft for a reason. The scouts saw something, minus the injuries. They saw that he had potential, and he's so slowly, showing it. And I'm happy for him because, we didn't get to see that in the Zoom.
Right.
Yeah.
I totally agree.
And as Bundy said earlier, which I agree with, Jamal Murray, the Nuggets. I'm not gonna say easily, but the Nuggets
Yeah, I
could
like
be
it.
up 2-1.
Oh yeah, yeah. I like him and Jokic or Jokic or whatever how you say it. They got a nice thing.
I was about to say, Jokic and Jamal himself both are a good duo. Good little system they got going on, working and feeding off each other. And with Millsap being on the team as a veteran,
Right.
in the beginning of I guess, the bubble, I wasn't paying attention to Nuggets as much, but I was like, didn't see Millsap, let's say, doing something. But now, I guess because more's on the line, I see Millsap helping his veteran leadership is making a difference. And Ball and are doing it. I'm telling you, I was like, when the next season comes around, they got a league on notice. That youth they have and that passion and desire Jamal is shown, is like, I don't care if I do a flavor foul against LeBron because I know I'm out here balling and I got a point to prove.
Yeah.
And then on the other half, we have Miami and Boston, in which right now Miami is up 60-53 in the third quarter. So that should be a great series. I see that.
Oh.
I see that being a 7-game series.
Yeah, I would love to see that just because of the two teams that's playing. I'm a St. Louis guy, so I'm rooting for Jason, but I can't go against a great basketball that Miami is playing,
Yeah.
especially with the defense.
Yeah.
So I can appreciate that series. I would like to see it go 7 just because it's two great teams. Yeah.
Who would you say that you modeled your game after as a youngster in high school?
Well, I'll say back then, as a big man, Elijah Wan was like one of my favorite players. Because Elijah Wan could do it all.
Right. Yep.
He was a big man, but he could shoot that ball. He could dribble a little bit.
Yep.
He had defense. He could do it all. So I kind of, and I like Scottie Pippen. I like the Scottie Pippen as far as like transitioning my game into like a 6'7", 6'8" man. You know, I like watching Scottie Pippen play back then.
And who would you say is your favorite basketball player of all time?
Because it's kind of like Jordan, and then Kobe was my generation. LeBron came, and then I was just like, that's my favorite player.
Okay. Well, hey, it definitely has been fun having you on the show, man. Getting to know you and getting to hear, your story, especially in regards to people probably misunderstanding, just in regards to how your game was being played, and especially how, like we said earlier, how it's being played now.
Right.
I think a lot of people would definitely have more appreciation for what you brought to the game during that time.
Right. And hopefully, that's what it is. And I appreciate you having me.
It's definitely a pleasure, man. Do you follow baseball or hockey at all?
A little bit, because as a kid I played a little hockey. It was street hockey.
Oh, really?
I would have never thought
Yeah.
that.
My uncle was a really big hockey fan. He had white blue, everything. So we go outside, and he had the pads and sticks and the pucks and all that. And we played sometimes.
Okay. Well, you know
What's
what?
that?
Baseball. But you know what? stick with that real quick because now we're gonna go ahead and transition.
I play baseball.
Okay. Yeah, definitely stick with that because right now we're gonna transition over to our next segment as we discuss everything baseball and hockey related. And now we're gonna bring in Joe for Joe Knows. Joe, come on in. There she is.
Hey, see me, baby Joe. Hey.
How's it going, Joe?
I like the
Hey, I love the hoodie. I love it.
Thank you. I had to wrap that tonight.
Yeah, hey, I wonder why.
What do you mean?
Oh man. So
It's something with the Astros.
Well, that's why he got me orange, but I mean, I put it on and Brendan said I looked good in orange, so I'll take it.
So, you know, he just taking his upcoming father role, you know, very serious. I make sure you feel good. You know what I'm saying?
But I'm saying I'm 6 months pregnant. I better look good at anything.
All right. So Joe, you have Markese, Joe.
Hello, Joe. Nice to meet you.
Nice. How did you play some hockey when you were younger?
Yeah, we did. We had a lot of fun hitting each other with sticks and everything.
Now you know
Yeah, I never played like actual hockey, but I played street hockey with my brother and all the guys in the neighborhood, so that's fun.
Yeah, we did too.
So how many goals, if you can recall, Markese, how many goals did you score back in the day?
I mean, I scored a little bit, but like I said, it was rough.
Yeah.
It wasn't easy to score.
Yeah, I recall playing hockey.
I made it one or two every day.
I recall playing hockey a few times during PE at the V. So that was some fun times, I will say.
Y'all were doing it with rollerblades because there ain't no ice rink near the beach.
No, it wasn't no rollerblades. It wasn't no ice rink. It was all feet. It was sneakers.
All tennis shoes.
Yep, that's how it was. All right, so Joe, as we stay on the hockey tip right now, of course, we are in the Stanley Cup Finals, and Dallas and Tampa Bay. We have a lot of St. Louis going on in the Stanley Cup Finals. Your thoughts on this series and who you feel will win? I know right now the series is tied at 1.
Yeah, series is tied right now, and Tampa's up 5-2 in the third. Put that game on right now because the Cards are gonna butt swept.
Man, hey, call my team.
But
never mind. I'll say it later on. I'll save it.
But I was just gonna say, I mean, I think this will probably go 6 or 7. Honestly, I think Tampa probably wins it, but Dallas has had one of those like Cinderella type story years, so who knows?
Yeah, we should definitely see. Do you think that Ben Bishop will be playing any game in this series?
I'm trying to see right now. They might have put him in because Quidovin gave up 5, but he's been such a good. He's like Bennington last year, backup goalie, and he's been shutting a lot of good offenses down. So it would be like last year when Allen got that like couple periods in there.
So Markese, how tall are you right now?
You know when I'm with the layup, I'm 6'10", I'm really like 6'7" and almost 6'8".
Okay.
But you know when you miss a dunk and you can't take the layup, you 7 foot.
So Joe, how would a guy?
I'm legit like 6'7" and 3/4 though.
So Joe, how would a guy as tall as Markese handle being a goalie?
Honestly, it's weird. I feel like a lot of goalies are kind of tall, so they probably do better, cover up more than that.
This guy stay flexible.
Yeah, big time.
I never wanted to be a goalie.
Too much action for it.
No, you know how you did with football? You do the same way, too much contact, one wrong hit, you out of there.
Right. I always want to get that.
So
It's like you don't get to move around being a goalie. I want to move around.
So I wanted to bring up this, Joe, as well, in regards to the Alex Petrangelo situation. We all know that he's more than likely maybe going to free agency. Looks like there could be some differences in regards to what I'm hearing is he doesn't want to hear just the AAV. He wants to be sure that he has in baseball, it's a no trade clause. I guess in hockey, it's called a no move clause. Looks like there could be a little standout between him and his agent and Doug.
I think it was Monday. They were saying that it was $7 million, but then I just saw today that it's 8 years, $8 million. So it has to be something with the contract that that Alex doesn't like. But if if Alex doesn't want to take the $8 million for 8 years, then that's on him. That's about what all the other good D-men are making these days.
What's your confidence level?
First I heard. I'm sorry, go ahead.
Oh, yeah, I'm sorry. What's your confidence level in him returning to the Blues?
I don't know if I would put it 50-50, honestly. If there's like 2 weeks before the whole free agency thing happens. But I also don't see him going to Toronto like everyone thinks. And I don't think he's going to get paid what he thinks either.
Oh, wow.
And it's not because he's not good. It's just because with COVID, a lot of sports, like baseball and hockey, people aren't going to be spending that money with the loss with the fans being in the stands and all that stuff. So I don't think he's going to get much more at all than what we're offering him.
And Markese.
So then if it's not about the money, you said it's about something in the contract. Other teams will give him what he wants in that contract that no trade clause.
Kind of break up a little bit there, but yeah, it could be. Hockey's just so different with baseball when it comes to that stuff. It's much harder to get contracts done, I feel like, in hockey because of the money and everything.
And Markese, when the Blues made their run last year to win the Stanley Cup, were you one of the ones that was right there, watching every game, throwing stuff to the TV, etc.?
No, I didn't watch every game, but yes, when they was in the finals, I took in and watched them, and I was excited that St. Louis finally won them a cup. So yes, that was like a great highlight for St. Louis as a city.
Yeah, and we've been saying that. So
I actually used to want to go to the games when they had them at the what was that old
St. Louis Arena.
What was that out there by Fort? That arena.
The arena.
Yep, the St. Louis Arena. It was back then. It was the St. Louis Arena, and before that, the Checkdown.
Yeah, it was real nice back then because I used to go to a lot of events.
And I would always say that I wish these stadiums that we have nowadays was like the arena in which you had an actual parking lot so we can park there and not have to park in people's neighborhoods
Right.
and park it, trying to find a parking meter or a parking garage downtown. The arena had their own parking lot. I missed that.
It's been so long, I forgot they did.
Yeah, I missed it. Yeah.
I never went to any hockey games.
Nice arena.
Yep, the old barnyard. And matter of fact, I think it only happened one time, but Michael Jackson performed there too.
Well, look at you dropping that stuff. I tell you.
Hey, when I found out about that, I was like, "What? No, I want to be there."
Right. I feel the same way. That was my guy.
Yeah, man.
So wait, did they ever have any basketball tournaments at the arena?
Oh yeah.
I know the hockey rink, but was it back then where people check their floors between rinks and basketball courts?
Yeah, they used to have the Arch Madness at the old arena.
Oh.
Yep. Before it got before.
No, the shootouts and nothing.
Yep. The shootouts were there too.
Okay.
Yep. All that, everything that was going on at the Kill and Savage was at the old arena.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Even they used to have the NBA preseason games there.
When I went to the preseason games, we went to one at Kill.
Mm-hmm. And the only one that I went to was the one in which the Bulls. This was after they won their third No, I'm sorry. Yeah, this was after they won their third championship. And this is when, of course, Jordan's father got killed. So when they had one of their first games on preseason, came to St. Louis, and Jordan, of course, was supposed to came to town, but he retired. Mm-hmm. So I saw Pippen, I saw Kukoc when he was a rookie, other guys as well. But I was like, man, I'm about to see Jordan, and then he retired. I'm like, oh, I got the worst luck in the world. But yeah, man, fun times at the old barnyard. We got a comment here. Shouts out to the St. Louis Trotters. They say, "What's up, guys?" I'm pretty sure that's either Nico or Mylon Pepper.
Yeah, I play with Mylon too. That's my guy, and Nico.
Yeah, man, both of us are good guys, man. So how was your experience playing with the Trotters?
Huh?
Oh, how was that experience playing with the Trotters?
What you mean, like the 40 and over team or the Trotters team?
The Trotters team.
It was a great experience. I think that was like 34, something like that, 35 years old. That was the first time I pulled a hamstring, and that's why I was playing with them. But I had fun playing with them because we had Mylon and Nico and around. Just fun to play with them guys as they know how to play the game. We won some games and stuff.
That's what's up. And Pep says, "What's up, Keith?"
Yeah. What's up, brother?
All right, so Joe, let's transition into baseball. So if the playoffs started today, right now, the Cardinals will be playing against the San Diego Padres. And when I saw that, I was like, ooh, no, if that happens, we're in trouble. But
but they just lost Clevenger today.
I saw that. I saw that. Now,
who knows? I don't know if he's going to be ready for the playoffs. It wasn't really clear on Twitter, but I mean, they still have Pat, Davies, Lynette, who's had a really good year. But it doesn't sound as scary without Clevenger in that rotation. And Tatis has been really cold lately, too.
I've heard about that. I've heard. But looks like just off of Twitter alone, looks like you really are becoming a big fan, if not already, of the Padres. Is that correct?
Who, me?
Yeah.
She's turning her Astros fan card for a Padres fan card. Go ahead, Joe.
Oh, I'm a baseball fan. Like, watching people like the Padres and the White Sox, it's really exciting because they got a lot of young, really like sparky type players on their team. They're good at the game.
Yeah.
And I like seeing that, like the Tampa Bay Rays. They just clinched the East tonight. Screw the Yankees. And and they have a really fun team to watch too. So I don't know, baseball is just fun, you know. Like I can watch any game. Like right now, I saw a tweet yesterday saying that the worst series this week is the D-backs and the Rangers because they suck. But I would still watch that, you know. It's just fun to watch.
Yeah. And Markese, you said that you did play baseball back in your day as well.
A little bit. I mean, I wish I'd have learned how to play more. Baseball's funny. Or just to be, more, talented in other sports.
Yeah. So, shouts out to Major League Baseball. They are putting in $10 million to, I believe it's the Black Alliance corporation in baseball, something that Dexter Fowler and other black players in Major League Baseball have all came together to form. So shouts out to them. They're trying to put forth more of an effort to make baseball more rare for our youth, for the African American community. Because we've been saying for the longest time, how can baseball?
No, we said what the problem is. As far as the African Americans not playing it, the pipeline that costs too much in the marketing.
Right.
So hopefully the Black Alliance will help alleviate the cost or sponsor teams and get coaches at the young level to start showing these young kids about baseball. I'm going to love for it.
Yeah. And then in regards to the Cardinals, Joe, they winding down next week. Well, excuse me, this week should be the end of the regular season, but they may have to play a game against Detroit, too, should I say, for the makeup game. Word is that when they come back home, they'll already begin the bubble process as they get ready for the postseason. Something I had to kind of keep reminding myself is that, yeah, they had to go through a shortened season, even shorter, because of COVID being gone for a few weeks ahead and had to make up games. So, yes, we know that the team has been tired. The performance hasn't been as sharp as we like. But with that being said, something that came to my mind when I heard him on the radio the other day. We know that Mark McGwire had great success as a batting coach, and they had one of their best offensive seasons when he was their coach. Another guy that comes to my mind right now is Jim Edmonds. What do you think about that?
I see that a lot on Twitter. I think that would be really cool, honestly. I mean, I like the guys we have sitting down with Danny Mac during these games, Keel and BT and Edmonds, just because they've played the game before. And just, you can watch the game and hear Jimmy say what pitch is coming, what they got to do, and end up doing it. So, I mean, his mindset's right there. But I wouldn't say our problem's a hitting coach, but I would love to see Jimmy do that.
Yeah, I think to me he'll be the perfect candidate because he'll get those guys to start seeing baseball differently. Because right now, whatever John Albert, I'm sorry, not John Albert. What's his name? Jeff Albert is doing right now.
Jeff Albert
is like they're just they're thinking too much. And how many times have we seen a fastball go right down the middle of the plate and no one is swinging at the ball?
I feel like we're seeing that a lot more often this year. I don't know. This year's just so weird. But yeah, I've noticed that a lot, especially the first pitch. Like me, when I grew up and playing into college, I would just watch the first pitch no matter what it is, just to get that out of the way. But these guys are constantly getting first pitch strike, fastball right down the middle, and they're just watching it. And then they're swinging stuff in the dirt after that. So they do need to change their approach a little bit, but I do feel like it's more of a talent thing than a hitting coach.
Yeah, I agree with that. Speaking
So
of
one thing I can say, one of her favorite players, Harry Vader, he got better, but he's still striking out a lot. I'm still seeing it.
yeah,
Yeah, it's everybody. I mean, like, I was just telling Brendan last night, I think I'd still say Bader has a higher upside than a Tyler O'Neill. They're pretty much the same person, but I would probably still take Bader over O'Neill. But yeah, I think it's even more than just the bottom three hitters in the lineup.
So with that being said, one of those bottom three hitters, Dylan Carlson, had an incredible game last night. Almost had a cycle. If it was in 8 other stadiums, it probably would have been a cycle. Do you think he should stay down in the lineup, or should he move to the 3rd spot and be in front of Goldschmidt and have Goldschmidt take the 4th spot so Goldschmidt can start getting some pitches to hit?
It's hard to say after one good game against a kid that he's seen in AA and AAA before that you just move him up. I think that would mess with his mind more than anything. Wait until next year before you want to move him up to those top 4 spots, I think. Because you start moving him now, then that's just going to mess with him again. He's just now starting to see the ball good.
I guess just my mindset is, hey, we've already been bad already. Let's just try to shake some things up and try to get a spark, somewhere, somehow, as we hopefully go into postseason. But hey, like Bunny says, what do I know?
Yeah, I mean, we got 7 games left. I don't think putting him up there now is going to really do anything different.
Yeah.
And like I said, if anything, it would mess with his mindset more than anything.
My last question as we wrap things up with this incredible show. Marcell Ozuna. He's looking so good that it's possible that he could be considered as MVP. He'll be a free agent after this season. Would you even consider trying to have him back as a Cardinal?
I'm iffy about this. For one, I think we go back in old shows, and I was one of the only people that said we should have signed him again. But he's like Carlos Martinez, where you can't take him seriously. And the 2 years we had him, it was that. He couldn't get ready for the season to start. He's in a really good Braves lineup and a really good hitter's park. I think we could do something else other than Ozuna, honestly. Like I was telling Brendan, maybe like with the Petrangelo situation, you're probably not going to see people make lots of big signings this offseason due to money. But if you can go out there and get someone small like Kevin Pillar, I think that'd be someone who would help out a little bit. With Marcell Ozuna, I don't know. We've seen what we got from him here already. We're all saying that just because he's having a good year with someone else and our offense is trash.
And he could be a product of, as you were saying, about the situation with Goldschmidt and how about Luke Voigt. But Marcell being around great talent around him makes his job easier. But in which, with the Cardinals, over the last 2 years, they was hoping that he will be that guy. And he's not really that guy, if you know what I mean. He has to be around other talented guys to make him better. So maybe that's what needs to happen with the Cardinals, him and Goldschmidt, and hopefully Carlson. If that was to happen, that would be the answer to all the problems, is to have just more guys, great guys around them, and not try to have Ozuna be the guy to spark the offense.
Well, that's what I've been trying to say, to prove to people on Twitter, is if you look at Voigt's lineup and if you look at Ozuna's lineup, they're filled with nothing but all-stars who can hit 20, 30-plus homers and have 100 RBIs. Who is that on the Cardinals besides Goldschmidt? Mm-hmm. No one. That's why Goldschmidt's walking a lot this year, because he has no one around him. Even if we did have both of them like last year, we should have got someone at the trading deadline last year too, like a Castellanos. These other teams have 3, 4, 5 guys that can be all-stars every single year.
So at the end of the day, it goes back to front office, not putting the team in a good position to accommodate certain guys.
Pretty much, and we were looking at the Cardinals' budget for next year. And again, I don't think many people will be making big signings this year. Like, winter meetings will probably be super boring this year. You're going to want to try to trade, but even then, you got Carpenter for 2 more years after this.
No, don't.
And I think he's going to be blocking a lot of the stuff that we can end up doing.
No, don't remind me.
Yeah, so that's the thing. Like we love Carpenter. You're not going to get rid of him. No one's going to want him. He's had 8 really good years in the majors, but now he just can't do it anymore. And it sucks because I was going to block it, and then we're going to play Tommy Edman.
All right. Well, that was another fun
So
time.
that being said,
Yep, that was fun, Joe. Definitely appreciate you being on the show again, this time virtual on Zoom. Your first time doing Zoom, right?
Yeah, I've never done this before. It's different.
Welcome to the world of Zoom, the future of communications.
Yep.
Any last words to Markese before we go ahead and let you go?
I was wondering, did I start this Zoom stuff? Because it seemed like you've been having a lot of guests comment personally.
No, we actually had our first Zoom one 2 weeks ago with iPod King Carter. He's in Philadelphia.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. But
okay.
Yeah, but we're you actually gonna be probably starting well, iPod did a little bit, but this week is gonna start a trend of Zoom, because tomorrow I have y'all on the Zoom right now. Tomorrow we have another huge show as former local sports news anchor and St. Louis Rams play-by-play man Steve Savard will be our guest via Zoom as well, and we look forward to hearing from him, talking with him, having a good time as we celebrate his many years, over 26 years of being a prominent force here in St. Louis. We know that he has a story to tell from his perspective, and we definitely look forward to it. So with that being said, everybody, it was great seeing y'all, and sorry that the show started a little bit late because of some computer stuff going on, but we made it through, and I definitely appreciate y'all being on the show.
I wanted to say
Okay, guys.
thanks.
thanks for having us.
Talking to you, bud. Nice meeting you guys. It's nice talking to you, Fred Smooth. And thanks for having me.
All right. So with that being, thank you very much, man. Make sure that you continue to share this page to everyone so they can tune in, and we can get even more people to check out our show in the future, starting tomorrow, should I say. And Joe, you have a good one.
Okay.
Nice, Joe. Nice, baby Joe.
Bye, guys.
All right. And Markese, once again, thank you for your time. You be safe out there in Columbia, and next time you in the Lou, make sure that you get at me so we can hopefully connect.
Yes, I definitely will do that. Appreciate you.
All right, brother. You have a good one.
You too.
All right, there it is. Bunny, just me and you. Are you dancing over there? Oh my
You
goodness.
don't hear me sing, so I just did the little mannerisms.
Oh my goodness, she over there trying to do a little taking it back to your old Lincoln University days, huh?
Here you go.
All right, well, I'm gonna go ahead and
I am representing for the LU tonight.
I see that the party school can't get no better than that.
It is not every school has parties. Thank you very much.
But ain't no party like a LU party, cause the LU party don't stop.
Because the LU party don't stop.
Hey. All right, well, we're about to go ahead and end the show once again tomorrow night. Steve Savard will be on the show via Zoom. Hopefully, you don't have no lagging, no delays, and we get right into it tomorrow. Special start time at 8 o'clock Central Standard Time. So get ready for a incredible show. Once again, shouts out to Markese. We're gonna probably rap. We're gonna rap with him. We'll do a little. What's the word everybody be saying? A debrief. Let me get off the live stream. But it's been fun. Everybody, make sure y'all follow us. Give us that like. Go on YouTube. Subscribe. Click on that. If you can't hear you, your phone's on mute, Bunny. You on mute right now. Where you
My
at?
bad. Use the air.
There you go. Subscribe. Click on that.
YouTube, subscribe, bell.
There we go. Because anytime we go live,
You get notified.
there it is. Stan, shouts out to you. See you soon, everybody. We out this joint. Y'all have a great Wednesday. We out. We out. Right.